What's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Alu-Cab 3.1 tent. I've had this tent for about 7 months now, and after using it on a few trips, I think it's time to give you guys a full overview and my opinion on this tent. Now, if you're watching this video, then you're probably either looking for a rooftop tent to purchase, or you're probably interested in purchasing an Alu-Cab 3.1. So I hope this video does help you guys make that decision. Enough said, let's get into this video. And just like that, 10 seconds later, it is all deployed and ready to roll. If you were camping tonight, that pretty much just shows you guys how quick and easy this tent deploys. Now, I do want to give you guys a little background of older setups that I had before in the past that you guys have probably seen on this channel. I think it's very important because it gives you guys a full detailed understanding of why I ended up with this setup. So back in the day, I did have just the regular bag rooftop tents. I had a Mount Shasta CVT, I had a front runner tent, and I even had an iCamper Mini. And at the time, for my application, for what I did, they were perfect. You know, I wasn't doing this full time, so I would actually go out for a few days. I was not on a time schedule, so I could take my time to tear down or set up. And now that I'm doing this full time, that I do travel a little more often, where I'm off grid for 4, 5, 7 days, setup time is very crucial for me. You know, I like pretty much having my coffee in the morning, my breakfast, you know, tear down real quick, and I'm off to the next spot. And for me, that was the biggest selling point. As you saw, it took me 10 seconds to deploy, and the teardown is also that quick. Another important selling point that would make this a lot more functional for what I was trying to accomplish was the fact that it does have factory rails up top, which allows you to put load bars. You can mount accessories like your kayak, your snowboards, your max tracks, whatever it was. In my case, I wanted to mount my solar solution up there, and it just made everything a lot easier. Just mount it, wire it, and I was done. So this is the telescopic ladder that's included with this tent. And one thing that I like about this setup is that you can actually climb in through the back, or you can climb in through the side, depending on where you're camping. And this has been very convenient because sometimes the view is towards the back, or sometimes the view is towards the side. Or maybe you're like me, that sometimes put my diesel heater on my tailgate and I don't have access to climb through the back. Having both options is always nice. So it's the little details that make this tent stand out. For example, just even with the telescopic ladder, it makes tear down super quickly. All you got to do is push these little knobs in on both sides, and the whole thing just retracts back down. Another thing is that the area where you step is actually flat. I remember the old ladders that I had were actually not flat. They were like flat but going down. So when you would step, your foot would slide in instead of keeping it nice and straight. And then you also have small little grooves here which allow your shoe, your sandal, your whatever you're wearing, your Uggs, to grip a lot better. And even when we climb up, you'll see a small locking mechanism here that secures this ladder to the tent, so you don't have to ever worry about this ladder ever coming off or anybody falling off while they're climbing in and out of the tent. So we've made it inside the tent, and before I go into a few of the details that I like about being inside the tent, is right now in LA, the weather is right at 79, so it's pretty hot. I'm wearing a plaid. I know I'm pretty crazy, but it's actually cooler inside the tent than it is outside. And that is because this tent is actually really well insulated. This is one of those things that Alu-Cab has perfected, especially out in Africa, South Africa. You know, weather conditions are, it's pretty hot out there. So they've managed to make this tent actually really well insulated to a point where not even heat could transfer in from the outside of the tent. So yeah, it's definitely a lot cooler in here. So big props to you guys for making that happen. Now, Alu-Cab has added a few gadgets in here that I love, and one of them has to be these storage bags. I use these all the time. Right now I'm putting my shoes up here because I'm not about to step all over my mattress. But yeah, I put my camera gear up here, my laptop, Soul's leash, and it definitely just gives you some type of storage solution, and at the same time it opens up the whole bedding area just for you, your dog, your wife, your kid, whoever's going to be sleeping, and that way you guys aren't all crammed in here. As it is, even if you did have a few things, this place is absolutely huge, but having these storage bags is definitely useful. Now, another thing that you guys have probably seen in my videos is up top we do have a reading light that we can turn on. And it does have two different modes depending on how bright you want it. And for me, that reading light has been very useful, especially when camping with Soul. You know, she likes some type of light. She hates the dark, and it's made her life a little easier. For me, if I'm reading a book or if I'm editing or going through my SD cards, whatever it is, or possibly even waking up in the middle of the night to look for something, just having that light accessible, being able to turn it on whenever I want or need it, it's pretty sick. Now, another really cool feature, guys, is that in this little corner here, Alu-Cab has included, yes, included a charger. You can charge your phone, charge all your gadgets, get everything ready for the next day. And I think that's pretty dope, you know. I think for the most part, every company always wants to sell you on some type of add-on. The fact that Alu-Cab has taken the time to just include everything with their tent. You don't have to worry about, hey, I need to upgrade, I want to add this, I want to add that. Everything that you see here is included when you purchase this tent. So now that we talked about those three things, what I did now is I closed all the doors and left just one slightly opened. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close it. I do have the reading light on right now. And I want to show you guys, there's absolutely no light leaking in. Nothing. That little light is the charger. But if you look around, this thing is made really, really well. Now, if I turn off the reading light here, this is basically the only light leaking in. And it's not very much. Not very much at all. Look at that. There's a small breeze outside, and there's absolutely no wind coming in at all. This thing is well insulated. There's no little gaps, no little openings on the corners. And that's one thing that a lot of the other tents lacked. You know, it didn't matter if you're running a diesel heater or a buddy heater. The cold air would leak in through pretty much all the little cracks around the edge. This one, there's absolutely no openings. Whatever heat is in here, it's going to retain it, it's going to stay in here. And if you ever get a little hot, you can open up one of the windows, or up top you also have a vent hole that allows air to come in here and circulate. But I've never had an issue, guys. I have slept here multiple times. I'll let the diesel heater run for a little bit, I'll turn it off, and that's pretty much all I need for the rest of the night. My sleeping bags, they fit in here. I can close this thing, get to camp, you know, deploy this thing. My sleeping bags are already in here, and I don't have to worry about having these things all over the cab of my truck and the back getting all dusty, because they're inside, away from every element, and they're pretty much ready to go when it's time to hit the hay. Now, these doors, you can open them two different ways. You have two zippers. One opens the whole entire door. The other opens and has a mesh. And the good thing about the mesh is that you can still see outside, you can still feel the breeze, but at the same time, if you're camping, there's a lot of mosquitoes, a lot of bugs. it keeps those bugs away and out of the tent. Now, if you're wondering about condensation, nope, no condensation. This does have a condensation mat, and I did find a little treasure over here. This is actually Sol's light. But yeah, this thing has a condensation mat, so absolutely no condensation. And underneath the condensation, it also even has a rubber mat. So I'm telling you guys, this thing is extremely comfortable to sleep in. This is by far the most comfortable tent I've ever purchased. And let's go back outside. I'm going to show you guys a few more things before we end this video. But so far, I hope you're enjoying this video. I hope you're enjoying this review. It's been a long time since I've done an overview or review about a product. So it feels good to actually show you guys something that I truly enjoy using. And yeah, let's go outside. So now that we're back outside, I don't know, all of a sudden the wind picked up, and inside the tent, I didn't even know there was wind out here. And that's another thing that I was gonna talk about. The last time we went out, we were out in Joshua Tree / Purdue Canyon. The guys that were with me will tell you, it got really windy, and I slept like a baby there. Didn't even feel the wind, didn't even feel that tent or that truck move, because what I did is I aimed that shell towards the wind, and it actually helped stop the wind from hitting the tent. Now, how did the rest of the guys sleep that night? I don't really know, but we all woke up and we all came to the conclusion that that night was pretty windy, and I personally did not really feel much. So I got some good rest. I know Sol got some rest, and if you haven't checked out that video, check it out. You'll get a good idea of how windy it was. But man, guys, I mean, I don't know what else to say about this tent. It's been an absolute blast being able to camp up there, being able to just enjoy this tent. And I hope this video has helped you guys at least get a good overview of the small details that it offers. Like I said, I probably missed a few things here and there. And if I did, I'll be linking everything down below so you guys can click on that. And that's actually gonna be, yes, it's gonna be TinyRig's website. So if you wanna give them a call, ask them a couple questions, and even get yours there, have them installed, I mean, I would definitely recommend these guys. These guys do a phenomenal job. So that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. Just a quick overview of the Alu-Cab 3.1. The next video that you'll be seeing, I'll be doing a small dedicated video for that Alu-Cab 270 shadow awning. That's another item that I get a lot of questions about, and I'd rather just make these videos just to kind of just send the video out, you know, in case somebody asks me a question, instead of typing it all, just be like, hey bro, just watch this video. So definitely keep an eye out for that video. And as always, I want to thank you guys so much for always supporting, for always watching. If you guys like this type of content, I just ask for one thing: support me by subscribing. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.